Never Stop Learning, week 218. We're going to take a quick look at part 2 for Smart Object Resolution. So this time what we're going to focus on is the transformations of smart objects, because that was one of the first things that actually attracted me towards smart objects. And then after that, it was definitely the smart filters. So right here, I'm still working with the same t-shirt mockup that I had a couple of weeks ago. And I'm actually going to hide this little sleeve that we have over here, all right? So I'm going to hide this guy over here in the right side in my layers panel. And over in the file menu in the top left section of the screen, I'm going to click on that and look for this guy right here, Place Embedded. So about a little bit lower than halfway down the list, you're going to find Place Embedded. And what it's referring to is placing a file, or what's going to end up being a smart object. All right, so Place Embedded. I'm going to find the file that I need, which is going to be this guy right here, right sleeve red 218, place. All right, so now I've got it in here, and check this out. It's actually coming to the edges of the document, because I think this file is actually a little bit larger than this document is, and we're going to find that out in a sec. All right, right now I have the opportunity of scaling this guy up or down. If I scale it down, it's no problem. If I scale it up, it shouldn't be a problem as long as I don't go more than 100% of the original file, which we'll talk more about in a sec. So I'm going to hit return just to accept that change, and there it is. Now, if I hit command 1, you notice that this is already set to 100%. So if I go any larger than this, we should start seeing some pixelation. So if I hit command plus, there it is. All right, command 1. All right, now let's talk about the transformations for this guy. I'm going to hit command T on my keyboard to get those bounding boxes there. Grab the edge, click and drag towards the center while holding down Shift and Option. If you're on a PC, you're going to be holding down Alt. All right, so I bring these guys in, and I'm still going, and all right, now I want to zoom in, right in here. All right, make this guy even bigger. There we go. So now it's a big box. Actually, it's not that big. We're just zooming in. And I'm going to make it even smaller. All right, so now it's moving around because we're at the pixel level. So we're losing registration, but no big deal. All right, so right here, we got about 8 pixels making this guy up. I'm going to hit return on my keyboard and then command 1 just to see how large our artwork is. All right, so this guy is tiny. Now I'm going over exaggerated just to really prove a point here, you guys. I'm going to hit command T. All right, so I can stretch this guy out again. Shift Option like we did earlier. So this guy's really going to be pixelated, right, by a lot. All right, once I release my mouse, notice how it's all pixelated in here. All right, we're going to hit return, and everything looks great. Now, the reason it looks great is we didn't go beyond 100% of the original size, or actually the size of the embedded artwork. All right, so let's take a look at what size the embedded artwork is. Over here on the right-hand side, we got the layers panel. I'm going to look at right sleeve red. Right here it says Smart Object Thumbnail. Just double-click on that guy. That's going to open up that smart object, and we're looking at the original file. Over here, I got this guy separated into layers. Here's the text layer. Just below that, the background layer in red. And that's why this looks really clean. This is still vector technology. Think of a font as an application embedded inside your file still, and it's using vectors. So once you rasterize that file, this little application, it's going to turn it into pixels. All right. Command Option I is going to bring up the image size dialog box. In here, it's showing us that the width is at 6, the height's at just above 3, and the resolution is at 600. All right, we're going to use that information in a bit. So I'm going to click OK and just go ahead and hit Command W to close that window. Now, I want to check out the size of this document. So Command Option I. If you're on a PC, it's Control Alt I. Over here, it says image size. All right, check this out. Width at 3.4, height is at 4.6, and the resolution is at 72. So this master document is a lot smaller in size and resolution. I click OK, but this embedded smart object is a lot larger. So if I hit Command T, then I'm just going to stretch this guy out, making sure that I don't go beyond 6 inches wide. Hit return, and notice we don't have any pixelation going there. It doesn't look too soft to me right there. It looks great. And that's because the embedded artwork is actually larger than this file that we're looking at right in here. All right, so I'm going to hide this guy over in the layers panel. That's all I wanted to talk about for the pixel-based artwork. Now, lower in the stack over here in the layers, we have this vector smart object. Now, this one's really easy to demo. Command T, All right, I'm just going to stretch this guy out. All right, so make it nice and big, something like this, maybe even larger. Move this guy down here, and even bigger than that. All I'm trying to do is get some really big pixels, and wherever it bends, that's where you really start seeing it happen most. So we can see some stair stepping here, right in here. All right, we're going to accept this transformation by hitting return, and everything gets nice and smoothed out. That's because it's a vector smart object, and we're just dealing with vectors. Back over here in the layers panel, see this little thumbnail here? You want to double click on the smart object thumbnail, and notice this is going to bring up Adobe Illustrator, and we have full access to all these vectors. If you make a change to this artwork, save that off, it'll be updated in your mockup. I'm going to close this guy out, switch back over to Photoshop. All right, now I'm going to shrink this guy down, and if we make any transformations to this at all, it's just going to be treated like vectors. So I got this guy really small, going smaller than I had it. Return to accept that change. Command T to blow this guy back up. There we go. Return to accept that, and check that out. It's nice and clean. So that's how it is when we're working with vectors. And just think of smart objects as like an envelope that's protecting any of your artwork inside of it, whether it's a bitmap image or some vector artwork. And there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at part 2 of Smart Object Resolution.